In this week's episode, we're finally getting back to NAMM after a couple of years' absence. We're going to be walking around the boutique guitar showcase, having a look at some of the innovative builders there. We're going to be meeting with Dunwoodie from Graphtec and meeting a bunch of friends in the suite that we hired just across the road from the NAMM show. So come along with us on the journey, but first we're going to stop off with Robert on our way to NAMM, and we're going to deliver a really special guitar to him. Robert, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, I was in the shipping video and I was holding your guitar and it was mentioning that it was going to California. And I said, I wonder where in California maybe we could have delivered this. And seeing that we were going to be driving pretty much right by your home on our way to Anaheim. So we knew we had to bring it to you in person.
I'm thrilled. Thank you.
And I think you've got a couple of our guitars already.
I have. This is my fourth. I have an Amicus, an X10, and an X30.
Very nice. Well, I think this is a good addition. And you were showing me some of your other collection of carbon guitars, so it's great to know that you're a big fan of carbon.
I am a big fan of carbon, and the emeralds are wonderful. Like I said, this is my fourth one, and they're great.
So what attracted you to carbon guitars specifically at the start?
So I always like to keep a guitar out next to my chair, so whenever I feel inspired to play, I pick it up. And I had a guitar, I won't mention the brand, but it was just sitting next to me in my home, and one day the glue that held the bridge down failed, and it just completely ripped off the top finish of the guitar, and it was ruined. And so I talked to a luthier, and they said, yeah, well, if you're going to have it out, there's a lot of humidity and heat changes in your house. It's not very good. You should keep the guitar in the case. Mm-hmm. So I went to look for a guitar that I could keep out all the time that wasn't going to destroy itself with humidity changes. And I found that carbon fiber was the material that works.
Well, I'm glad you found it. I mean, I think that's a perfect story, because what I always kind of say is that the best guitar is the one that you feel the most freedom and will play most. And if the carbon guitar allows you to have it just sitting out there by your chair and you just pick it up and play, so that's exactly what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, well, the Virtuo. So you've already seen it in the shipping video, so you've got a pretty good idea. But the person, wow. I think it's absolutely stunning, this guitar.
It's beautiful.
Isn't that wild?
Fantastic. Yes, it is.
I think the color combinations are...
The gold and purple is perfect.
It is so nice. It's always a really special experience to get to hand deliver a guitar to somebody and just see that expression on their face when they see it for the first time. That was a really special guitar, but now we're on the road again and we're heading to NAMM, and I'm really looking forward to this. I think what I love when I'm looking at the style of some of these guitars is you see the combinations of colors. Like with this, it's the black top, this red burst, so there's just hints of red on the guitar. So clever, the use of a tiny bit of red here running through on that bridge.
This guitar on the left here is actually built by Ben Kaler. His company is called Ticket 2 Guitars. We both work for Brian Gallup, who owns the Gallup School of Guitar Building and Repair and Gallup Guitars. Almost all of it is handmade, so the only thing that's not handmade is this tailpiece and the fretboard, the overlay, and the pick guard. He actually designed that in Rhino himself, so all these designs are his own. It is a 25/75 scale length on the bass side, and it is a 24.75 scale on the treble side. This epoxy resin that you see on the guitar is actually custom. We had it made by our friend Will Bizzard, who is the foreman for Rick Turner's shop in Santa Cruz, California. Okay. So he actually took a piece of that resin and book matched it for the back of the peg head. This also has an Endura neck, so very similar to like a Strandberg guitar, where the peak of the neck actually twists as your hand goes down the neck.
Oh, okay. Yeah, clever.
It's a European maple back and sides, It is laminated sides, but the back and side, the top and back are solid. This is Alaskan spruce for the top. What's also cool about the top is he used Vanta Black. So Vanta Black is the blackest black they make. And every year they come out with the blacker black. So this would be black 3.0. This year they'll come out with black 4.0. And every year Ben plans to build a guitar that has the top in black, but he's going to use 4.0 the next year, and the year after that he'll use 5.0. What's also kind of cool about both of our arch tops is we're using a pickup by a guy named Bob Palomari. Typically with arch top guitars you have to use nickel strings. So nickel strings really kind of detract from the sound of an instrument, especially arch tops, so they're kind of overbuilt and they end up not sounding that great unplugged. So this pickup allows us to use phosphor bronze strings on the guitars while keeping it passive. So there's no preamp in this pickup. It's a magnetic pickup, and it sounds really, really good. Also kind of cool is he actually machined in brass inserts where it touches the strings that you can't really see because the strings are there. But that grounds the whole guitar to the pickup. Ben also didn't want any repair techs to have to pull off this pick guard and there be a cable attached to it. So, you know, you pull it up, it falls off. And it's soldered to the instrument. So what he did is he actually made a microchip using the CNC that has an audio jack, so you can just unplug it before you take it off the guitar, and that way it doesn't risk hitting the top.
Wow.
So
a lot of detail.
Yeah,
I love
cool.
the color combinations. Just so much taste in the subtle transition between the reds and the blacks, and this little bit of red here.
Yeah.
Just really
pops. He's got a really, really good eye for detail.
Yeah, very much. This is what happens at NAMM show, because you come with a whole idea of what you're going to do, and you're going to walk around, you're going to see all these different people, and you realize that you're about an hour away from the end of the show and you're still only 5% into the show. So, we have to go over and we have to look at Steve Vai's Hydra guitar. So this is just, this is the most awesome thing. And I mean, you know that I built the Ultra guitar for Steve, but I appreciate what everybody else has done for him. And this thing over here is totally off the hook. So come and take a look at this. So isn't this thing killer? This is a guitar that I think the guitar was almost built to match the music. You know, Steve comes up with an idea in his head, and it can only be played with an orchestra. So this is the orchestra. And if you haven't already seen the piece of music that Steve plays on this instrument, you got to check it out. It's just mind-blowing. And we'll see him in Dublin in a few days' time. So here's another really, really cool one. Let's go talk to Stephen McSwain. Stephen.
Hey, there he is. How you doing, Alistair? What's up, buddy?
Good.
My favorite guitar maker that I've seen at NAMM. Or in many, many years.
And we didn't have to pay you, bribe you with beer last night for that.
Well, beer's always a good bribe. How you doing, buddy?
Just had to come and see your guitars today.
Thank you, brother.
So you want to talk us through some of the designs?
Yeah. So I brought this one because this was like the origin of me starting to build my own shape and headstock set neck guitars. I always, I did a bunch of bolt-on stuff, like Strat style, that was all hand-carved wood, but I did this because I wanted to have my own unique yet familiar shape, and I like the larger body. So I brought this one because it has the airplane gauges that light up, that do nothing except just look cool. And and the more modern versions of this, I have a smaller body, which is more akin to about the size of a Les Paul, a little thicker mahogany with the aluminum on the top, and the gauges I counterweighted the needles on them so they just teeter, so they still light up. Has two volumes and a tone, and the volume or the pickups are split coil, so you get more versatility out of it. All the fretboards are now aluminum bound, like the bass is. It's just a little classier, So, but I wanted people to see that one, kind of the origins of it. This is black walnut that blew down during Hurricane Hugo in 1998. The hurricane came in at Category 4 hours inland, and leveled like 50 black walnut trees on my uncle's farm. And so I would go back and harvest this and bring it back. But I just love the story that some tree that just got decimated is now in a guitar making rock and roll.
That's nice.
It's nice to have a story into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So
As to the
I had made a bass years ago, and I wanted to get back into it, and so this is the Black Flag version of the bass with the sterling silver skull stars and the little skull gear knobs. Thin sheet of 6061 aluminum, mahogany body, real P-bass style. I wanted to keep it simple and kind of functional that people are familiar with. Of course, you got a little string tree, which is the skull star too, and I wanted to throw a little color in with the aluminum binding, so I had some Korean countertop material, and so I spliced in this red countertop material just to give it a little pop of color, did the nut out of it too. So yeah, so maple neck, mahogany, pretty standard, but the metal gives a good pop to it, and I love the way it balances out with the wood, because you get that ring and just something over the top. And I had a lot of people ask, like, well, is it more like with the guitar, it's more like a resonator? I'm like, no. You get this beefiness of like the wood and the character of the wood, but with that brightness and the punch of the metal. It's just
okay, so it just adds an extra layer of complexity into it.
And I've had a couple producers around LA over the years tell me that the ones that they had in the studios were like their favorite guitars to record with, because they cut, but not in a piercing way. It just something lifts it a little bit. So, and I'm a dummy. I don't know. I just
You just agree.
I just
that's
agree.
exactly
like,
what I designed.
That's exactly right. And so, of course, Telly style. Everybody loves a Telly, and so and everybody loves gold. I don't know what it is with the gold, so I did a lacquer nitrocellulose finish on it, and then did the checking on it, double cream bound, split coil humbucker in the neck, 3-way switch, just a tone,
Right.
rosewood with the brass inlay, gold inlays in the string trees, and then of course the brass plate on the back. And this is cool because it's a mahogany body, and I knew this would add a lot of pop to it as well. So it kind of, Owen was just playing it, he just comes out, he's like, dude. So I was like, that's what I need to hear. So
is that adding a little bit extra sustain?
Yeah, a little bit more pop, a little bit more brightness to it. So yeah. But, man, I'm telling you, and this is unsolicited, but I have never, in years, I've never been as inspired to sit down and play a guitar than I was playing your guitars last night. Dude, I'm serious. I get emotional thinking about it, because I build guitars all the time. And you put them back up, you fix them up, but dude, you sat down. Whatever you're doing is beyond next level, beyond. And I applaud you, dude. I'm serious.
Well, that's the greatest honor, because if it inspires somebody to play, that's really what we do.
I'm jaded, dude. I'm so jaded, and I really want to play. I enjoy singing more than I enjoy guitar playing. And sitting down with your guitars last night, I was just like, I don't even know what. It's just something washed over me, and I was like, oh my God, it's just inspiring.
We really couldn't do what we do without the support of our suppliers, and one of those really integral suppliers is Graphtec. So we're going to go and meet Dave and hear some of his stories. So it's actually really cool to be sitting down here with the head honcho, Dave Dunwoodie from Graphtec. And I think, right from the infancy of Emerald Guitars, we've been using your nuts and saddles. So that's going right back into probably 99 or 2000. Yep. And when you're building a carbon guitar, it just makes sense to use a Graphtec nut, and then it's kind of gone further over the years. We've been starting to use your electronics, and now your electronics kind of make the core for a lot of what we do in our pickup systems.
Yeah.
So I'm keen to hear a little bit more about your backstory.
We began the whole Ghost excursion. It was a long trip. There was we used to make our string saver saddles for a guy way back, like we're talking 35, 40 years ago. He was a guy named Mike Christian, and he was really the first guy that put a piezo in an electric guitar saddle and got a sound out of it. And so Mike took it so far, and then everything kind of dissolved. So I decided, it's a good idea, it's just got to get refined. We thought we're right on the right track at the start. And as we got further down testing and seeing how we were going to encapsulate that crystal into the saddle, we started talking about different suppliers, and we talked with Motorola and everybody else. And there's some pickup manufacturers for acoustic stuff that they buy the sort of the scrap Motorola stuff and cut it up and use it. And then I ran into a piezo scientist. I never knew there was such a thing as a piezo scientist. And he said, you really need to have a different style of piezo, because the guitar frequencies work on lower frequencies than the Motorola stuff they're using for sensors for stoplights and buzzers and whatnot like that. And I said, okay, great. And he says, well, I can make you one, but you're gonna have to order 10,000 pieces. And I was just like
jump in the deep end.
We're a small company back then, and there's 10,000 pieces, and we don't even have any sales for this. And then finally I said, okay, yeah, we'll do it. So we got them to make us 10,000 pieces, and we tried it in our saddle, and it was just like a night day difference. It was just like, oh, does that sound good?
Wow.
Like it didn't have any brittleness or harshness, and it had some bottom end.
Yeah.
It had some breath to it. We started working on the preamp, and we started working on making a smart preamp, whereas if you plug in a mono cable, both your electric guitar pickups and the acoustic from the Ghost system will go down the one cable. If you plug in a stereo cable, it'll automatically sense that and send the electric guitar signal down one cable and the acoustic out of another cable. So you can plug your electric guitar in an electric amp and your acoustic guitar into a PA or a acoustic amplifier, something full range. So now we have a sort of a smart preamp. We've got the right crystal, and we've got the right preamp, the right load going into it, and that's sort of where we really took off with it. Our first name for it wasn't the Ghost system back then. It was the Fat Ass Acoustic System, FOSS.
I remember that.
Yeah, and after we renamed it the Ghost System, you can hear it but you can't see it, and so that's basically the whole. We've expanded the Ghost system from there, where it's a plug and play, where you can plug in different modules, a MIDI preamp on top of it, or all different types of switching. And you guys are using the MIDI cable.
Yeah, we use a MIDI.
Yeah,
I think that's the beauty of it, is it's a platform that allows us to adapt it in different ways, and we use it in so many different ways across our guitar range.
Right.
Right from our basic system with just the piezos, and this guitar here's got the piezos, and we're using the second input and then for K&K pure minis inside and blending those. We use it in our harp guitars, we use it in our double neck guitars, we have a couple of the preamps piggyback together. Yeah. And it's just a really, really great system to be able to adapt and do a lot of really cool things. And we use the MIDI a lot, and I think this guitar really, your technology I guess enables what this guitar does, and it's to me it's been a revolution for our company. So we've got the 6 individual pickups running into the Ghost preamp. We've got a Fishman Fluent set up here running into the Ghost preamp, and then we've got the Hexpander MIDI on top of that. So essentially we have 3 guitars in one here, and then all individual volume controls, and so it's a very versatile guitar. And then because you guys were able to make these really cool individual saddles that are fully adjustable, we've been able to make an adjustable acoustic bridge.
come a long way in 22 years or so.
yeah, it's great, and it's great that we've been able to, to collaborate on building the company over those years and keep using your products for so long.
Yeah.
So it's sometimes not easy, but it's a passion that keeps you going through it, isn't it?
yeah. We definitely wouldn't be doing this long if it was just about money or anything else like that.
Yeah, no, it has to be about the fun and and the expression. But yeah, it's been great to be able to get a little bit of your background and story.
Well, it's great. It's great to run into you at the NAMM 2022. Yeah,
it's good.
First one.
Yeah, it's good to get back here again after a couple of weird years.
Yeah, it's great, and it's great to see you guys, and great to see where Emerald's gone over the years.
Oh, thank you. So I hope you've really enjoyed hanging out with us today. It's always fun just to meet new friends and spend some time just being inspired by the guitars and the musicians. Next week's episode, we're going to be meeting with Brian Wall from Worship Tutorials. We're going to be delivering a special guitar to him. We're also going to be delivering a guitar to Sean Daniels from Emerald Riders. And we're going to be meeting a bunch more of those really innovative builders and hearing some of their stories. So come along with us next week and continue the journey in the pursuit of inspiration.